You've worked hard, saved diligently, and now you're finally ready to enjoy the retirement you've dreamed about. But here's the part no one warns you about. Retirement isn't just as simple or as predictable as most people think. It's not just about paying for groceries, utilities, and the occasional vacation. There are hidden costs that can quietly drain your wealth, and they often show up at the worst possible times. Miss them, and even a $2 million portfolio can start to feel fragile. I've seen too many retirees blindsided by the expenses they never planned for, and by the time they realize it, their options are limited. The good news, with the right plan, you can prepare for these risks and protect the lifestyle you've worked so hard to build. Hi, I'm Tanya Solsla, investment advisor at CG Wealth Management. I work with Canadians who've done a great job of saving for retirement, but now want clarity and confidence about how to spend it wisely, protect their lifestyle, and leave a lasting legacy. In this video, we're going to uncover the hidden costs of retirement no one talks about, so you can avoid surprises and enjoy your retirement without fear or regret. If you find this valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to see how to plan for these hidden costs in your own retirement, book a call with me using the link in the description below. Number 1, inflation isn't what it used to be. Most people assume inflation will tick along at 2% a year, barely worth thinking about. But what happens if it doesn't? Consider this. If inflation averages 3%, your cost of living doubles in 24 years. That $70,000 lifestyle you enjoy today could cost $140,000 when you're in your late 80s. Here's where it becomes dangerous. Retirees often take a conservative approach, moving most of their portfolio into low-risk investments. The problem? Your money isn't keeping up with the pace of rising prices. I've seen couples in their 70s who were once comfortable, now forced to cut back because their portfolio can't stretch as far as it used to. Planning tip: you need a retirement plan that balances income stability and long-term growth, so you don't lose purchasing power over time. Number 2, healthcare and long-term care. Canada's healthcare system covers a lot, but not everything. Prescription drugs, physiotherapy, dental and vision care, mobility aids, and most significantly, long-term care. If you or your spouse need assisted living or daily in-home support, the cost can be staggering. In Canada, for example, long-term care can range from $2,000 to over $8,000 per month, depending on the level of care. I've seen families blindsided by these costs, forced to dip heavily into their retirement savings or even sell assets to pay for care. Planning tip: include a contingency fund for health-related expenses and explore insurance options to protect against this risk. Number 3, taxes on your retirement income. Many retirees are surprised to learn they may be paying more tax in retirement than expected. Here's why. RRSP withdrawals are fully taxable, and once converted to a RIF, you're required to take out a minimum every year. If you're drawing CPP, OAS, and investment income at the same time, you could find yourself in a higher tax bracket, and OAS benefits can be clawed back if your net income exceeds certain thresholds. The hidden costs? You could unknowingly lose thousands of dollars each year to unnecessary taxes. I've worked with clients who've saved significant tax simply by withdrawing from their RRSPs earlier, before age 71, and delaying CPP or OAS. Planning tip: a coordinated withdrawal strategy is essential to minimize taxes and keep more of your wealth working for you. Number 4, supporting adult children or aging parents. Even in retirement, many Canadians find themselves financially supporting family. We call this the sandwich generation squeeze. Helping an adult child with a down payment, paying for a grandchild's education, supporting elderly parents with healthcare or housing. These acts of generosity are deeply rewarding, but they can quietly drain your retirement savings if they aren't planned for. I've seen clients give $200,000 to a child to buy a home without realizing how much it shortened the lifespan of their portfolio. Planning tip: be clear about how much you can afford to give up without jeopardizing your own retirement security. Number 5, lifestyle inflation and big one-off expenses. There's one risk I see time and time again, especially in the first decade of retirement. It's not market volatility, it's not healthcare costs, it's something far more subtle: lifestyle inflation. Here's what happens. You've worked hard your whole life. You've saved diligently, sacrificed, and now you're finally free from the 9-to-5 grind. For the first time in decades, your calendar is wide open, and so is the temptation to start spending more freely. Maybe you decide to upgrade your home to make it more comfortable for your golden years. Or you book longer, more luxurious trips because you finally have the time. Or you help your kids with a down payment so they can settle into a home of their own. And while these are all wonderful, meaningful uses of your wealth, here's what I often see behind the scenes. Overspending in the first 5 to 10 years of retirement, the so-called go-go years, can leave far less for you later when you need it most. A real-world example: a few years ago, I met a couple in their early 60s. Let's call them Mark and Diane. They retired with nearly $2 million saved and felt confident they could live comfortably. In their first 5 years of retirement, they renovated their kitchen and backyard, $150,000. Bought a new SUV, $60,000. Took their children and grandchildren on a 2-week family cruise, $40,000. On paper, these expenses didn't seem excessive. They still had over $1.7 million invested. But here's what they didn't account for. Their portfolio withdrawals coincided with a market downturn, meaning they had to sell more investments at lower prices. The renovations increased their property taxes and utility costs, and the withdrawals bumped them into a higher tax bracket, creating an unexpected tax bill. Fast forward 10 years, and Mark and Diane's portfolio had shrunk much faster than they expected, just as healthcare costs began creeping in. Why this happens isn't just about poor decisions, it's human nature. In your 60s and early 70s, you're healthy, active, and eager to enjoy the rewards of your hard work. We call this the go-go years. But most people don't realize there are also the slow-go years in your 70s and 80s, when travel and big-ticket spending naturally slow down. And the no-go years in your late 80s and 90s, when healthcare costs often rise dramatically. If you overspend early without a plan, you may find yourself forced to cut back later, just when life becomes more expensive. Planning tip: spend with intention. Here's the key. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about pacing yourself. Create a separate bucket for big one-off expenses, like home upgrades or major trips. Stress test your retirement plan against market downturns to see how much you can spend without jeopardizing your future. And consider go-go, slow-go, and no-go phases, so you can enjoy your wealth now while protecting your lifestyle later. Because retirement isn't just about the first 5 years, it's about the next 25. Here's what I want you to remember. Retirement isn't just about how much you've saved. It's about how well you've planned for the unexpected. Because even with millions in the bank, these hidden costs like rising healthcare, unexpected tax bills, and overspending in the early years can quietly erode your wealth. And I've seen what happens when people don't address these risks early. They end up living more cautiously than they need to, afraid to spend their money, even in their healthiest, most active years. Or worse, they discover too late that they've outlived their savings. But that doesn't have to be your story. With the right plan, you can enjoy your retirement confidently, spending your wealth with purpose and protecting the lifestyle you worked so hard for. You deserve more than a good enough plan. You deserve clarity. You deserve peace of mind. If you want a second opinion on your retirement plan, or just want to know where you stand, book a time with me using the link in the description below. Because the sooner you're planned for these hidden costs, the more freedom you have to enjoy the years ahead without fear or regret.